Interesting. Narrow-minded. Why is it always that so many people who subscribe to supernatural worldviews or believe in magical stuff like this sort of martial arts, whenever somebody challenges their ideas or claims that they're making or claims made by the supposed experts like Mizner and they're defending them? Why is it whenever somebody that's sufficiently skeptical and rational enough that essentially asks for evidence or a simple test of any kind, those people who are rightfully challenging these extraordinary claims, they are somehow considered narrow-minded? And this goes way beyond martial arts. That's the thing. This same conversation is happening in almost every area of life. This view that the status quo, a tentative position that's been reached by science, is somehow viewed as being either narrow-minded, or that people who accept the status quo or accept scientific method are somehow appealing to authority or have an agenda or this and that, while in reality this is a simple propositional logic problem. That's very simple. Like, engaging in this sort of stuff, it's easy to sound condescending because of the sheer absurdity of the situation. And I'm really not trying to be condescending. But it's insane to me how these people, who are probably genuine nice people, that aren't dumb, aren't stupid, or just life circumstances gave them the position to be prone to falling for this type of stuff, which is sad because this isn't really that complicated. You have all of these ideas. Just think of the potential of things that humans can come up with when it comes to claims. Then we have sufficient testing. We test claims, and there's going to be some that turn out to be bullshit, and some turn out to be true. Or at least stay consistent enough in testing that it's rational to consider those to be true. And when we have that collection of things that are tested, that become the status quo, that become the fundamental basic belief that we have. For instance, in the martial arts sphere of things, that would be sports competitions. And we now can easily see what comports with reality and what doesn't. And what a rational person in this situation is saying, they wouldn't be making proclamations of truth in saying that this new idea that comes up, that it's immediately false, that it's not true. No, they're basing their confidence on the evidence. And the evidence is stacked against stuff like this, stuff like Mizner. So if you are in conflict with that hypothetical rational person, if you're making that claim, that extraordinary claim that's challenging the status quo, it's your job to prove it. You hold the burden of proof. Like, this isn't complicated. I'm trying not to sound like a douchebag. Whoever wants to dive deeper and go further with this type of stuff, go search for the null hypothesis and learn about that. And learn how acquiring knowledge actually works. So no, us skeptics aren't narrow-minded. The more I engage this type of talk, the more I learn that people aren't aware of what skepticism actually is. Probably fundamentally the most important thing you can be to successfully be open-minded is skepticism. Because skepticism isn't just a position of disbelieving everything for whatever reason. That's not skepticism. Like, oh, you're being skeptical of this, but you're not being skeptical of that. No, you either are skeptical or you aren't. And what skepticism actually is just you proportioning your beliefs to the available evidence. That's all it is. The tougher the claims are, the tougher the evidence has to be for you to accept those claims, for it to be a justified belief. So far, we have an ungodly number of fights recorded in the entire history of humanity. Now with cameras, with everything, an insane amount of actual fights. Be it street fights, be it combat sports, anything, all around across the world. And we have solid understanding of how fighting works. We have very little to no evidence of these internal martial arts that are spooky and magical. I'd say when it comes to magic, we have precisely zero evidence, or at least good evidence. Depends if you're counting like testimony as evidence and this and that. I count that in this situation, I count that as claims. I don't count it as evidence. For something that extraordinary needs really good evidence. We simply don't have it. So, and since I'm a bit tired, the video is long enough, I'm gonna be a little condescending. For all you Mizner magic type martial artists out there, you either present sufficient evidence or shut the fuck up.
I noticed you put the HME TaiChi in there as well.
Hmm.